If you're having suicidal thoughts or feelings or feel like you have no hope, please call 988. There, you can talk to someone who not only cares about your story, but cares about you. Please reach out today. Thomas P. Murphy once said, "Minutes are worth more than money. Spend them wisely." At Minutes Wisely, we take that to heart. Our mission is to decrease veteran suicide by providing life-changing experiences for veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. We believe that we can make a lasting impact by rekindling a sense of purpose and fostering community through sponsored tickets to sporting events. These experiences are not just about the game, they're about the moments that can change lives. A simple sporting event can boost joy and instill a sense of renewed hope and purpose for those who have served. Join us in making a difference. Become a moment maker and empower a veteran with rediscovered hope. Visit minuteswisely.com for more information and to get involved. Together, we can make every moment count.
Good evening, people. How's it going?
Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
welcome back to another episode of TSP. Today, Andrew and I are sitting with our neighbor, Tia, kind of our neighbor. She's like 30 miles that way.
I know. Hi, Tia.
Hello.
We just figured that out like 10 minutes ago, too, by the way.
And Tia is my godmother's name, by the way. I did not
Wow.
mention that before, but I love the name Tia. So, Tia Cabot in Massachusetts, we're interviewing you right now.
So, is it the crazy car chick?
Yes.
The crazy car chick, not
Ye-
the crazy cat lady, but the crazy car chick.
Yes. CHIK. There's no third C.
Yes. Well, welcome. So what we do here is every Sunday evening, this episode will go live this Sunday. We sit down with a veteran once a week and we talk about life as a veteran. And so also we are blessed to be able to turn this into a nonprofit. So the nonprofit's name is Minutes Wisely.
You turned it into
And,
a nonprofit. I'm just a commentator, man. You did all this work, not me.
What we do is we send veterans, first responders, and Gold Star family members to, well, it used to be sporting events, but we're kind of branching out, which I'm going to make a big announcement right now. It's not really a big announcement.
It's good.
I've already been talking about it for a while. But Friday, December 20th, I believe that's next Friday, my wife and I are going to host one lucky veteran, first responder, or Gold Star and their guest to the Brett Eldridge Christmas concert at Bridgestone Arena.
Nice.
All the food, all the drinks, everything you can handle is free, and we're even going to pay for your parking. So the goal is a stress-free evening for a veteran, and yeah, and when we mean stress-free, we mean you're not going to be able to pull $1 out of your pocket. We're going to pay for everything.
Love it.
By the way, all you have to do, if you're a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family member, if you just go to minuteswisely.com, right down the middle of about like halfway on the main page, there's a link there that you can sign up. And we're going to run this for another 2 more days, I believe. And then we're going to pick a random person and announce it sometime next week.
Good.
But that's right around the corner. That should be fun.
I have given out that announcement to a lot of my friends. I will not be there, unfortunately. I will not be in the country. We are going to Germany on the 19th for Christmas on the Danube River cruise. So I will be there in spirit, but not in my physical form. I apologize, Fleek.
It's all good. I hope you have fun.
It's going to be awesome. I'm getting you something. I'm getting you some lederhosen.
Are you gonna bring me home some streusel or something?
Maybe some schnitzel, some streusel.
I like
definitely
schnitzel.
One of those little spoons with a German flag on it. Definitely, dude. I just bought euros today. I haven't I haven't bought euros in
Hey.
like forever.
I want you to tell this joke when you're there.
Okay.
I want you to find the meanest, ugliest military guy there, right? I want you to
Okay.
break this down to him. Why does the German Navy have glass bottom boats?
I don't-
So they can see the old German Navy.
Oh,
I thought you were. Oh, that's good, man. That's good. I will. Well, we're gonna be in Munich. We're gonna be in Regensburg. We're gonna be in Vienna, Budapest. So I will definitely go. I think I'm gonna try and find. I'm definitely gonna try and find a VFW over in Munich, in Budapest. I know they have them over there, and I'm definitely gonna try and find some veterans over there. Maybe even get like a cross continent kind of thing going on. Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, somebody in Germany's listening to us.
Somebody, yes, that's the number
There's quite a
two,
few
right?
people.
Yeah,
That's the
our
number two
number
city. Yeah.
Yeah, Tia, we're listened in like 618 cities and like 45 countries.
Yeah.
oh
40.
wow, cool. Well, as far as I know, I'm part German, so that's cool.
Well, there you go.
18% German.
It's on my bucket list to go there.
Wunderbar.
That and Ireland and Scotland.
Yeah. Nice.
3 of my top ones right there.
I'm kind of bummed that you quit drinking. You're not going to be able to drink some German beverages while you're there.
No, but I'll take care of Katrina, and she will be. She is all German because I don't know if you know this, but one of her ancestors, Fritz Haber, invented chlorine gas.
Interesting.
Yeah, I found this out watching NCIS. I was like, wait a minute, he's got your last name. Yeah, that's one of my ancestors. I was like, oh shit.
Oh boy.
I know. I know. We don't want to talk about that, but that's okay. That's cool. She'll kill me when she watches this. She's gonna kill me that I said that.
What's her maiden name?
Haber, Haber.
Huh.
So look it up, Fritz Haber, Fritz. Look him up. Chlorine gas, right there.
Well, maybe
But
one day.
without further ado, Fleek, since you're the one that got this interviewee, please
Yeah.
do the
Our
honors.
neighbor from down the street, Miss Tia. So what we usually do is we start by having you, our guest, introduce yourself. So why don't you tell the world who Miss Tia May is?
Well, you want me to go all the way back to the beginning, like prehistoric times?
Yes.
Yes.
That
Andrew
would be
love
fun.
that.
Yes, that would be fun.
I grew up in Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota. And I guess maybe the German descent came from 2 alcoholic parents. So I grew up with a lot of drama and trauma. And that's actually one of the big reasons why I left to join the military, because my home life was not very stable. By the age of 17, I was living out on the streets. I was hiding in people's basements and trying to find work so that I could survive. I even sold drugs at one time. Just marijuana, no bad stuff. But joining the military was my way to get away from that lifestyle. It was, I don't have a whole lot of good memories from that part of my life. So I kind of keep it short. You know, it was not like anybody, you know, not a lot of people out there have that history, you know, but joined the military when I was 19. I actually had to get my GED because I had dropped out of high school, being homeless. And yeah, I actually tried to join the Marines. But they told me with the GED that it's like a 6-month waiting period.
Yep.
And I wasn't willing to wait. And so I was like, all right, my dad was Army, so I'm going Army. So I told him, I was like, I'd like to leave as soon as possible because I don't have anything good for me here. And I think it was probably around 30 days from the time that I spoke with the recruiters, because obviously I had to make sure that I could pass a urinalysis before I left. So I did that, and I went to basic training in relaxing Jackson,
Ah,
and it was not very relaxing. I was in Alpha, was it Bravo Company, or no? Yeah, I think it was Bravo Company. And Bravo Company decided they wanted to be better than everybody else. So we didn't get to do any of the fun stuff that everybody else got to do. We got to watch them. Like, we literally watched people have like pizza parties, and they would sit there and drink sodas while they were shining their shoes. And dude, we'd sit there, like, we weren't even allowed to look. We weren't even allowed to other. Yeah, we weren't even allowed to look at each other. We weren't allowed to talk. It was like being in prison.
oh,
And
sounds
like,
like Marine Corps boot camp.
I had a female drill sergeant that had something to prove. So she was extremely loud, and I swear I thought she hated my guts. And my last name when I was in the military was Adams. And so I was the first person in line, and I was kind of like the drill sergeant's assistant, anytime she needed something. And so she just gave me hell the whole time. And I just imagine, like, whenever I graduated, I was like, oh God, my dad's going to meet her and she's going to talk all this trash about me. And she went up to him and she's like, man, you've got one hell of a daughter. She's an amazing soldier. And I was like, what the hell, man?
Yeah. No, that
treated me like crap. Like,
that happened to me too.
So
That happened to me too.
Oh
The
my
biggest,
God.
blackest gunnery sergeant who hated my guts met my mom and was like, hey, Mrs. Farr, your son is awesome. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. What the hell? Like, I wish you would have treated me that way, because I was trying so hard. Like, I mean, I aced everything. Like, I gave 120% every day. But yeah, after basic, I went to Fort Gordon, because I was in communications to get my AIT done. And yeah, it wasn't much different. It was awful. Like, the guys they wouldn't keep their barracks clean. And every time they found out the barracks wasn't clean, we got smoked. And so we got smoked all the time. And I was like, man, when is this going to get any better? Like, I thought I thought we were supposed to be in school, not getting beat up still. But, so yeah, I made it through that. I think my AIT was like 12 or 14 weeks, something like that. And then my first duty station was actually in Korea. So I went to Korea. I lived there for a year, and something that you won't see in the news, because I've actually looked it up, was that there was two Korean girls, like small girls, that got run over by an American tank right before I got there. And so and I was at the 2ID headquarters at Camp Red Cloud, which I guess doesn't exist anymore. I think they closed it down, but it was the headquarters. And so when they had the protesting, they held the majority of the protesting outside of our base. So we had thousands of protesters outside of our gates. So we were pretty much on lockdown like the whole time. My military career was awful. Like, I'm telling you, all these people are like, oh, I got to go to Woosan. It was so much fun. And I was like, screw you. Like, mine sucked. Like, we were on lockdown. We weren't allowed to leave the base. We had one bar on post, because it was a very small post. It was only 2 miles around the entire base. So we would actually run around the entire base for PT in the morning. But there was one bar, so the entire base would be crammed into that bar almost every night that we were on lockdown, because we didn't have anywhere else to go. And honestly, most of my military career was being drunk. I mean, if I wasn't on duty, I was drunk, and that's, majority of people that I knew. Lots of sexual harassment, if I'm being honest, and that's another very common thing. Most women I've talked to that were in the military, it's awful to me to think about. I went into the military so gung-ho, like, this is going to be my brothers, because like I was always as you call it, like a tomboy. Like, I played sports and I like to shoot guns, and I was so excited. I even told him when I picked out my my MOS that I wanted to be in an MOS that didn't have any women. Like I was like, I want to be with nothing but dudes. I don't get along with females. I like to play sports, and sure enough, like I was in it and I was excited. I thought it was going to be like all of the, guy friends that I had in high school, and it just wasn't. I don't know, maybe you guys know, being men that were in the military, what the problem is with men not accepting women that want to do the same job. Like we're there to do the same job, and immediately it was just this pushback of, you don't belong here. And so it was 4 years after leaving, crappy childhood, crappy teenhood, get into the military, and it was just the bullying. The bullying didn't stop. I was picked on for my weight, which was ridiculous. I think I was 140 pounds, and I was like solid muscle. And they put me on the fat program because of the measurements that they do were just
stupid. Yeah, the measurements are stupid. They're dumb.
And so they would literally mock me, call me fat, tell me I need to starve myself, and then trying to grab my ass, or it was just constant.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, and it is what it is. That I hope at some point it changes. I hope it's better now than it was 20 years ago, because I mean that was I left the military in 2004. So it's been almost 11 years.
That's when I got in.
Almost 21 years since then. Since that time. So
when did you get out in 2004?
September.
Okay.
September.
Yeah, I joined June 2004.
Oh, yep. I was leaving.
He's a boot again.
Ready to get out of there.
And I was actually made fun of too, a lot, because I was 26 and I was called Archibald Henderson, which is the grand old man of the Marine Corps. It means you're old.
Yeah.
And I was the oldest guy there, but I had a college degree, and yeah, they gave me shit. I did not tell them I had a college degree because they would make fun of me more. So I actually even had to dumb down my language. I couldn't even use big words that some people that I talk to today still don't even know the meaning of these words.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was not to your extent, but I empathize with you about how you were treated.
It's ridiculous, because to me, like the way I look at it, and I still look at it this way now, that if somebody tells me that they were in the military, immediately they're family to me. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you're from. You're family, and I would throw my life down for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my life down for perfect strangers, but anybody that takes the time and swears their life away to the military, I'm sorry, it's like this ungodly honor that you hold in my mind. And I want to protect anybody and everybody. You were talking about feeding the homeless or working with the homeless and stuff.
Homeless nights. Yep.
I recently did we did a Thanksgiving dinner. We packed over 200, I think it was 250 meals.
Nice.
And we went down to downtown and we hand delivered them to people. We did, we sat and talked with people and, kind of let them know that we cared about them and that they're that they're humans, that the fact that they're unhoused doesn't make them less than, that everybody has a time where they can fall down.
Yeah.
And there's resources out there for them. And I actually ran across a veteran who has been weighing on my heart ever since we went down there. And it's, it's like, as soon as I make a connection with somebody, even if it's a short conversation, I just can't stop thinking about it. And so I've actually thought about going back down there and trying to spend, I know I can't help thousands of people one by one, but I can help, if I can help one person go from living in a tent to, hopefully, getting off the streets and living in a house, then that's a huge accomplishment. And
so yeah, if you feel up to it and you want to, the women's shelter is always looking for people here in Murfreesboro. And it pays pretty good. And It's about 11 to 15 women, and they are housed at St. Paul's Episcopal Church.
She doesn't like women.
Well, she can't look after the men. She's got to look after the women. No offense.
I like nice women.
They're very nice. They're
My
very nice.
God,
I get to feed them from, every time when the temperature is 32 or below, we feed them and then we house them. And Jim Martin at the Journey Home, I can give you his phone number. They're always looking for help. Always.
Yeah, I'm always down to find ways to help, because I am 100% disabled. I have been since, well, I've been disabled since I left the military, but I got my permanent disability, my like 100%.
Good for you.
I want to say about 9-10 years ago.
Wow.
And it's hard. It took me 12 years to fight the system.
Took me 11. Holy shit. Yeah, it took me 11 years to get where I am.
I started out at 40% with
50.
from being messed up from my head down to my toes and everything in between. They gave me 40%, and I lived with my daughter as a single mom, and my disability was $450 a month, I think, when I first got out. So yeah, it was a struggle, and that's one thing I'm always down to try to help people and guide them to try to make it a little bit easier, because there was things that I learned that they're not going to tell you, because obviously they don't want everybody getting 100% right out the gate. They're going to have to, they try not to pay you as much as possible.
Well, they're short about $15 billion next year. So,
well, if they would quit giving money away.
Exactly. I mean, we had to do a VFW rider to our senators this year just to get extra money so people can actually get their benefits.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to not, and like we said, I don't like to talk about politics, but when it comes to helping U.S. veterans and U.S. children and U.S. mothers, people that are homeless out on the street, first, I would think, making sure all of the people that are here have the benefits that they need before we start giving away billions of dollars. But
agreed.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Tia, are you a VSO?
VSO.
Veteran Service Officer? I'm just curious.
Oh, no. I take.
You'd be a good one.
Yeah, I have a lot on my plate, and as much as I would love to put myself into all these buckets, I'm trying this winter actually to start my own nonprofit. We haven't gotten to that point yet in the story, but it's gonna be a full-time job. I don't, like I said, I can't work. Not because I'm allowed to work, I think, up to part-time.
You can't make more than $10,000. Yeah, I know. I'm in the same boat.
But I can't work for a regular job.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm chronically ill. So I have good days and I have bad days, but it's not guaranteed any day that I'm going to be able to get up, or, some days I struggle to walk. Some days I struggle to hold stuff with my hands. So it's just not possible for me. And I can't do a lot of work on the computer, with my hands. So there's just not a lot of jobs. That's why I've been working really hard to try to find a way to make my own thing, and I have yet to bring any income from it, but I have found something that I'm very passionate about. Good. And I believe that if I stick with it, that the income will eventually come, So, but yeah, building a nonprofit is definitely on the table. So I can't.
You're talking to two people that's going to spread the word about TMA.
Right,
yeah, I love it.
Fleek knows tons of people.
Yeah.
I know a shit ton of people that would love to help you out.
Well, I need every bit, because I've been doing this. Just this specific mission I've been doing for the last 2 years, and I do everything on my own. I do all the networking. I do all the emails. I built all of my social medias. I do all the video editing, all of the interviews. I do podcasts. It's a full-time job that just doesn't.
Yes.
What's the name of your nonprofit?
Well, everything is under Crazy Car Chick, but
Crazy cat lady.
I'm thinking of calling, huh? I don't know if that's really the best name for a nonprofit. Just because of the word crazy and the fact that I do work with mental health, I think it's kind of not the greatest representation. So I think that eventually I will turn Crazy Car Chick into a profitable company. And the nonprofit, I'm thinking Motors for Mental Health.
Nice.
Because everything is motor based. And it just has a good ring to it, and I've looked it up, and there's only been like fundraisers under that name. There's no nonprofits or anything, so I think it's a good way to go, to have them separated. Like I said, I don't know, I think crazy Car Chick Foundation just kind of weird. But so yeah, so you want me to go back, how kind of really quick, how I went from military to where I'm at now. I met, like many people do. I've been married. I'm on my 4th marriage, and the first marriage was when I was 19, and I had that puppy love, in the Army, and I thought we were going to be stationed together, and we weren't. The paperwork didn't get filed in time, so I ended up going to Korea. He ended up staying in Georgia, and then for Christmas he asked me for a divorce. Don't know why. There really wasn't any reason behind it. And so later on met my first daughter's dad, and he when I got out of the military, I ended up getting pregnant with my first daughter, and he moved me to Mississippi. There's not a whole lot there. It wasn't a great relationship. He was deployed most of the time that we were together. So I started my being the single mom, disabled, and just kind of trying to make the best of it. And when things didn't work out with him, I decided that I was in Oxford, Mississippi, wasn't really fond of it. So I really moved over to Tupelo, which is about an hour from there. Yep. And really just tried my best to be a citizen and a mom, tried to hold a job. I never really got into any sort of career that I wanted. It was all just, your base pay, little peon jobs. And from there, I actually fell into the music scene in Tupelo, and I've always been a creative person. I've been an artist since I was little, and I jumped into photography in Tupelo. I did a lot of band photography. Met my 3rd husband there. He was a musician. And he actually is how I met my 4th husband, who I have been with now for 14 years.
Congratulations.
We met through the music scene. He was a guitar player, and he mentioned wanting to move to either California or to Nashville. And within a month of us kind of dating, I decided to try to look for a job in Nashville. I was like, I'm not moving all the way to California. I've heard it's expensive. I've already been to Nashville. I love the city. So like, I think it was less than a year after we started dating, I took a job, and I was like, I'm moving to Nashville. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, you said you wanted to move to Nashville. He was like, I meant eventually. And I was like, well, I don't do eventually. I'm one of those people. I don't know if it's been my like survivalist instinct and always kind of just being, bouncing around and whatnot, that I just jump on opportunity. And so I did. I jumped, sold everything I owned, except for what, a couple, things, whatever would fit in my car, basically. Moved to Nashville, and I told him, I said, are you coming or not? And about, I think it was 2 months after I moved, he followed me up here. And we actually were staying on someone's couch for the first 2 or 3 months that we lived here. We literally had nothing. I had a car full of stuff. I think I had $100 in my account when I moved here. Like, I was determined to start a new life, and definitely did. We got We started in a cheap apartment in Antioch, which was not a good. It's not a good.
Nashville Village.
Not a good. Nope. It's right off of Bell Road.
Okay.
And it didn't take long for me to be like, all right, this is not where we need to be. We need to get out of here as soon as possible. So I finally applied to get my 100% on my disability, and timed it to where like we applied to build a house, and my disability, we were waiting on it to get approved, and we had to have that for us to buy this house. And so I just kind of, threw it out there, and I was like, I'm just gonna go for it. And luckily, I think it was like the week before we signed on our house that my disability went through. And so now we live out in Lebanon. Like I said, we live in a really nice subdivision out here in Spence Creek. I don't know if you know where that's at. Beautiful subdivision, great for kids. Coming from where I've been homeless, I think 3 times now. I was homeless when we moved to Nashville. In a really good place. As far as being in a stable life, I mean, it took a long time to get here. Like it wasn't stable from the time I was born until we moved here. So it was 35 years of bouncing around and just never knowing if I was going to lay any roots down anywhere. And I love it here. I don't know if I'll ever leave. I have built an amazing community of friends and connections here. So, like I said, I was an artist for a really long time. I was a very successful artist here in Nashville for about a decade. I did everything from painting murals to doing body paint to doing tattoos. And my disability is mostly from my autoimmune disorder, which I believe come from just getting too many pokes from the military. So my hands have slowly been deteriorating. So I had to lay down my brushes, lay down everything about 2 years ago. And I went through a massive kind of spell of depression and kind of like what do you want to call it? Where you just don't know, we don't know who you are or what you're supposed to do because you've always done the same thing.
You're in limbo.
Identity crisis, kind of.
Yeah.
I had no idea what in the world I should ever do because I was always an artist. And so, like I said, it was about 2 months of me falling into a really bad place. And one of the things that launched me into where I'm at now was finding an organization called 220. 220 literally saved my life.
Pam Arnold.
Yes, Pam Arnell. Yes,
Arnell.
Yep.
She was actually my coach that worked with me. She's the director now. But a friend of ours, I had actually reached out to the VA and told them I was having a mental health crisis, and they basically put me on hold. Told me to call them back later, and I never got a call. And I mean, if it wasn't for 220, I wouldn't be here today. There's no doubt in my mind. I had even told my husband that he should go ahead and prepare for me to not be here. But luckily for me, and I believe everything happens for a reason. One of my husband's best friends contacted him and told him about 220. He's actually not even a veteran. He found it, and they actually paid for the session because if you're a civilian, there's a charge for it. But the session that they do, he told my husband, he was like, you should have Tia reach out to 220, because she's very open on social media about her mental health struggles and her PTSD. Have her reach out to them because for military, it's free. And at this point, you gotta know, like many people, I started therapy when I was 11. I started taking antidepressants when I was 11. I have been on probably 30 different medications trying to chase this normalcy that people talk about, where they don't have anxiety and depression, where they're happy and, very stable. And I never found that. I had a gray cloud over my head my entire life, and I just did my best to act like everything was fine so that I could socialize, because if not, I would have literally just had to lock myself up, you know. I had nightmares almost every night um since I was a child. So it was 40 years of having nightmares. And I probably slept an average of 2 to 3 hours a night, if I slept at all. I tried my best a lot of times to just not sleep, because I knew that if I went to sleep, I was going to deal with the demons. So I didn't have a lot of faith that this session was going to be this life-changing thing. You know, I was like, I'll do it because it's free and I don't want to turn down something that's offered to me. So I went into it kind of skeptical and just like, whatever, let me go through the motions. And talking with Pam about this. So this session is so simple. It took me about an hour, and it's basically kind of how we're talking right now, like a video chat. And there is absolutely no speaking about any events that you've ever gone through. And that's the biggest thing that I tell people, is you do not have to relive anything. You do not have to talk about anything that you've been through, because I know that's what keeps a lot of people from seeking help. You literally just kind of visualize some things that she walks you through. You do kind of like a breathing exercise. And to be honest, I felt like it was kind of ridiculous. Like, I was like, there's no way that this is going to do anything. Like, this is like, okay, like almost like it kind of like some voodoo or something. But she told me at the end of the session, she was like, so you've had your body and your brain has been in fight or flight mode probably since you were a child. So you've spent 40 years in fight or flight mode. So you are probably going to feel exhausted. And I was like, okay. She says, I want you to rest. If you feel tired, go to sleep. Like, take a nap. Just allow your body to tell you what you need. And luckily for me, my kids were out of town with their grandparents at the time. So, like, because normally I couldn't just take a nap in the middle of the day. Like, that's not something that I can do. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And so we get off the phone, and it was literally like immediately. I grabbed a glass of water, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm beat, man. I'm gonna go to sleep. Man, I'll tell you, I pretty much slept for 3 days after that session. I would drink a little bit of water. Like, if I woke up, I would get a sip of water, and I would go right back to sleep. And I did that for 3 days. And when I woke up on that third day, I felt like I had nothing in me, which kind of made me feel like what they did was wrong. Like it had broke me. And I had even called Pam, and I told her, I said, I don't know what you did, but you need to fix it, because now I have no drive. I have nothing in me. Like, I feel broken right now. And she said, yeah, she said, you're not driving, your body's not driving on adrenaline and fear and, the PTSD. She's like, your body's going to have to learn how to drive itself now. And it took about 2 or 3 months of slowly working on getting like energy and like the desire to be around people. I didn't have this massive motivation to accomplish things, because like I've always been like this goal oriented person that was just like, I gotta do all the time. But let me tell you, like, for one, I think I've probably had 5 nightmares in the last 2.5 years. I do not worry about who's gonna like come up behind me and stab me every time I go out into public. I no longer have like self-sabotaging thoughts constantly. My self-esteem is through the roof, which I never even knew what self-esteem was before I did that session. there's not enough words to express how absolutely amazing and like life-changing that 1 hour was for me. Like, I mean, I literally tell people I stepped out of hell and I'm walking in heaven. At least that's what it feels like to me. Like the world feels brighter. You know, there is like, I haven't had a single depressive thought since I went through that session. I have had a lot of stress in my life, but it's like, okay, what is this stress that I'm dealing with and how am I going to deal with it? It's not like this, oh my God, I just need to die. Because that's how I used to feel all the time. You know, I just felt so defeated if anything remotely stressful happened. You know, I just didn't feel like I could face it. And so it literally projected me into a whole new life that is absolutely like nothing I could have ever dreamed of. I started pursuing motorsports. I was really nervous about it because I've had a lot of negative interaction with men when I was in my 20s because I was big into cars. And I mean, I had a nice 04 Cobra Mystic Chrome color, like 1 out of 998. And I would do like street racing and I'd do car shows and, you know, all this stuff. And I just constantly got talked down to, like, it was, you know, that I didn't belong in the scene. So when I approached the TRSCCA, which is the Tennessee Region Sports Car Club of America. They host all kinds of motorsports events, like autocross, road racing, stuff like that. And I've got just a stock 2011 GTI. It's a 4-cylinder turbo car, but I've got nothing done to it. I don't have like good tires or anything. So I was like, I didn't really think much of it. I didn't think that they were really going to accept me and that I was probably going to have to put some more money into it that I didn't have. But to my surprise, once I got the courage to talk to them, they were so welcoming, and they just love the fact that anybody is interested in getting involved. And the minute that I hit the track for the first time, it was like this switch flipped, and I was like, oh, here it is. I've got the brotherhood of all these people, which was in the military, the stuff that I was missing. You know, I think that's what a lot of veterans start missing when they leave the military, is the camaraderie that you have is unlike anything else. I haven't really felt that since I left the military. So, I mean, it's been almost 21 years of not having that and just feeling kind of lost and not really having this sense of purpose like I did when I was in the military. And so when I found that, okay, I love the motorsport stuff, I'm going to pursue this, but how can I feel like I have a purpose too, other than just making myself happy? And so I decided that if this makes me feel so good and this is so good for my mental health, I bet there's some other veterans out there that would feel the same way, because the adrenaline is something that I've been missing, you know, like shooting guns and blowing stuff up and, you know, crawling through the woods and doing all these missions and stuff. It was a very adrenaline driven lifestyle. And sitting around, and I love my kids, but like sitting around and washing clothes and doing dishes and cooking meals and, you know, and breaking up fights between
doesn't really add up to what we've
no
been through.
I knew that there was something missing. And taking the two and putting it together, it was like this bomb like just exploded. And I was like, oh wow, like this is awesome. Like especially the first time I was able to take a veteran to the track and get them in the car and to see their faces. Like, you know, I do interviews with people before they go for the ride. You know, I'm like, have you ever been in a drift car before? And like, no. And I'm like, okay, cool. They go for the ride and they come back and they're just like, I need a drift car. And I'm like, I know, like, I get it. Like, this is, yeah, it's like, I mean, it really is. It may sound silly to some people, but it's life changing. Because when you have something that gives you that much excitement and you have that to look forward to, you no longer feel like this dread or this like I don't have a purpose or I just want to give up, because you're like, well, no, because next week I'm going to the track. And I've got that, that future thing to look forward to, and it drives you to keep moving through obstacles, and to have the brotherhood back has been unlike anything else. Like I have not had any negative interactions in the last 2 years that I've been at the track, and that was huge. To be around that many men that are in a male dominated sport, and for them to all accept me and be very excited. Like every time I show up to the track, they're like, it's the crazy car chick. And I'm like, yeah, like, that feeling of belonging and knowing that people actually want you there. And it's been very healing for me, because I've felt a lot of rejection, from the time I was a kid up until, not too long ago. It was,
Yeah.
So that is, and speaking of the nonprofit and fundraising and stuff, so this year in February, my first drifting experience was ice drifting in Colorado. And I flew myself out there on my own dime, because I wanted to document exactly what kind of things that I want to do for other veterans. And so coming up in February, it's my goal to fly at least one veteran. I would love to take 4 or 5 people, but it's not cheap, especially if they want to drive. It's about $150 to $200 for every 30 minutes to rent a drift car to go drifting on the ice. So it's going to be, I'd like to do at least 2 hours. That's a good amount of time to go out there and have a good time and get the feel for the car and all that stuff. So it's going to be like $800 just for renting the car. But people can come out there with me and just ride with me. They don't necessarily have to drive, which would be a lot cheaper, to get their plane ticket and to make sure that they have a room to stay in while they're there. I plan to pay for all their food. Like you were saying, like once you get on that plane, don't plan on spending any money, because if you need anything, I want to take care of it. So we just released a fundraising effort with Veterans Trust. Veterans Trust does motorsports events for veterans, and I partnered up with them several months ago, and I started doing my program here in Nashville. Is kind of what they do down in Florida and on the East Coast, is getting veterans out on the track, getting them into cars, getting them to do ride-along, stuff like that. And so hopefully over the next couple months, I'll raise enough money where I can fly. Like I said, if I could fly one veteran out there, and also I take a camera crew so that they can film the experience. I'll have a drone operator, and possibly I'm hoping that I can get the founder of Skids magazine to come out there with me. She is absolutely amazing. Her love for the motorsport scene is just like mine, and to connect with another woman has been different for me. Like I said, I don't usually connect with them, so when I do, I hold it very closely to my heart. But so that's where I'm at right now. I'll have to apply for. I don't know anything about any of the nonprofit stuff, but after doing this for 2 years, I've started getting people that are interested in making donations, and I don't really want to take them on as as a person, because then it comes into account where I'm going to be giving away a lot of that money to taxes. So I'll be filing.
You need to talk to Fleek or myself. We have a lot of experience in nonprofit stuff, and Fleek, I mean, he had an idea, and now he's got a nonprofit.
Yeah.
And now he's done the 990. He's done the incorporation. He's done this.
Yeah.
We started a VFW. Starting a VFW is like starting a nonprofit. You got to do the 990. You got to do the incorporation. You got to have a board. You got to have this. Let us know how we can help.
Well, I'm here. I need all the help I can get. I just have.
You have to have 3 people on your board
At
to
least
start with. You have to start with 3 people.
treasurer, president, and somebody else. Note taker. The secretary.
Yep.
Sorry, we call it adjutant, but I was trying not to use that much VFW nomenclature on this podcast tonight.
Yeah.
Which,
So-
by the way, you did spend a year in Korea, so that's another nonprofit group you could go to.
Don't do it.
Is the VFW. I'm just saying. You were there for 30 plus, 60 plus days. You can join the VFW.
Yeah. So that's going to be the big thing. One of my first goals, other than doing like the retreat style stuff, is going to be building my first car for the organization. I want to build a drift car. That way, when I go to the track, I can take people out all day long and not have to be
cool.
Not having to ask people, hey, can I get a veteran in your car? And trying to time it when people are in the pits and trying to get people in the seats is actually way more difficult than I ever thought it would be. I spent a lot of time chasing people around. And so I was like, if I have my own car, for one, I can get experience because it's my plan to become a professional race car driver and drifter. I do off-road racing. If it has wheels, I want to drive it and I want to drive the shit out of it. If that's all
Hell
I
yeah.
care that. I'm extremely competitive too. So like, I mean, I've thought about building a kart and do kart racing. They just got the kart track down in Shelbyville going. So you can actually bring your kart down there. So that's another thing. Like if I have my own kart, I can bring veterans out and we can take turns driving the cart instead of having to each pay to rent a cart, stuff like that.
Hey, Tia, I would love to do this favor for you. I've got a guy in Florida. He's on a racing team. He's in the pits. He's been with them for at least 15 years. He and we served together a couple times, Ramadi and Fallujah, but he works for a racing team. His name is Dustin Cowan. He's a very good friend of mine, and I would love to introduce you to him because he could help you out in a big way, just with his know-how.
Yeah.
And a great kid. I think he lives in he's East Coast. He's past Vero Beach. I can't remember the town he lives in, but I have all his info. I would love to send you his information.
And to be able to connect, he's over there where Veterans Trust is too. To be able to connect them, because they do all kinds of experiences for veterans. They hook people up with all kinds of stuff. So networking to me is 10 times more effective than a degree.
Agreed.
I have made everything I've done has come from networking. Luckily, my dad was one of those people that never met a stranger. And I saw that and I kind of, followed in his footsteps of like telling my whole life story to the person at the grocery store. And I've had a lot of people that are like, man, you kind of need to like tone it down and you need to keep these things to yourself and like kind of work on them.
Fleek, you say that about me all the fucking time.
And I'm like, no.
You're out of control, bro.
Do you know how many random people I've walked up and talked to? And then they're like, oh, I know so-and-so. They can totally help you with that. And it's like, so why would I ever stop talking? Like the worst that can come out of it is somebody's annoyed and they walk away. But I'm not gonna miss out on a single opportunity to connect with some stranger that knows somebody that could connect me to the right people. Like it's just not gonna happen. Yeah, see?
I just emailed them right now. So
because I'm talking to you.
Because and Fleek is not telling me to shut up, which is great, which is awesome. That's a win-win for both of us.
Hey, Ted, do you know Dan Jarvis?
Jarvis.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from 220, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He started 220.
Yeah.
He's my cousin.
No way.
I swear.
See? Like small world.
Yeah. We had him on the show a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
We
wow.
did? Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. We
Dan Jarvis.
did.
Yeah.
You should get Pam on here because she knows all the ins and outs of everything. She's amazing. She's such a good person. Her husband was a veteran, and I want to say he passed away about a year ago. But she is seriously one of the kindest people I've ever met, and doing like I don't think I've ever felt more comfortable talking to somebody.
Hey Briggs. Hey
when it
Briggs.
comes to the mental health aspect, she's just one of those people that you just immediately feel like, oh, she's like my sister, like
Yeah.
I could tell her anything. So, and we talk all the time now, like
She's somewhere in the area too, right?
Yeah, she's in southern Tennessee. Yeah, she's in the lower part of Tennessee.
Okay.
Pulaski, Winchester, Tullahoma, Sewanee.
I know she's in
Chattanooga.
Tennessee
I
somewhere.
don't know what city it is. I just know that I think she said she's about an hour south.
She's probably in Manchester, Winchester, Tullahoma, one of those cities.
Yeah, somewhere down
My
there.
my mom lives an hour south. So
Oh, okay.
I've
actually been thinking because my plan is to sell our house and to use the equity for land and to build a shop. I just want a big shop.
Hey, go to Colmont or Altamont. It's cheap there. It's south. It's on the Cumberland Ridge.
I want to find a place that's kind of like central to all the racetracks.
Oh yeah.
So
you probably
racetrack.
Isn't Kingsport? That's a racetrack, isn't it, up there?
I don't know, but I know that if I go south 30 minutes, I'm about an hour from two other tracks that are in Alabama.
Okay.
And will be pretty close.
Oh, Talladega. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Speedway. So I think if I go about a little bit south of Murfreesboro would probably be good because I know Murfreesboro is a little expensive now.
Yeah, it is.
And we are not getting a racing track or a baseball team or an amphitheater.
We basically have a Nashville Speedway in Murfreesboro.
We do. Yeah, we got the Speedway. Yeah, that's on 231.
NASCAR track.
Well, there's the Nashville Super Speedway right there off of 840.
Yeah, right off 840 right there.
Yep.
Yeah, I go there every first Saturday for Cars and Coffee.
And Coffee.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you go to that.
It has grown into this massive.
That's huge.
It is massive because when they moved it to the Speedway, it used to be in Franklin, and it was awful in Franklin because the traffic was awful. There was nowhere to park. We filled up the movie theater parking lot, and then people were parking on the grass. People were, just everywhere. And when they moved it to the Speedway, it exploded because there's so much parking there.
A lot of our buddies.
Who do you talk to about getting a booth there? Do they have like booths for?
I can get you his number.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Jonathan Bowman can get you a number too, Flake.
If you're doing nonprofit stuff, he will let you set up your tent at no charge.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I'd love to see you out there, Flake.
Neighbors. We can start our own tent community out there.
Hell yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait to my plan is to set up the tent and have my drift car on one side and my my autocross car on the other side. And just look like a total badass,
Did you ever go to the races in the F1 series in Nashville, Music City?
To the Grand Prix?
Yeah, the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I actually went to the Grand Prix with Godspeed, and we went to advertise for Race Ready Sim. He has a sim company, and he basically gave us a shirts and we got to walk around, and I told her, I was like, hey, let's use these wristbands we got and see if we can go get in the pits. And sure enough, made my way into the pits, and then by using my big mouth, I got a race team that has offered me next year to bring some veterans to
Good.
actually work in the pits if they want. So
That's
they can
great.
take the front row seat to how they work on the cars and all that, which I thought was absolutely amazing.
And
Yeah,
a lot
that
of
is cool.
veterans, a lot of like Operation Song, Operation Stand Down, American Legion, VFW, they've all been at the Music City. And it's great. It's a great place to recruit. It's a great place to see other veterans too.
Yeah.
And I mean, I gave out $60,000 worth of tickets 2 years ago to veterans. We had a guy come to our VFW, this guy named Liam. He would just, every time I ran out of tickets, he would just give me tickets. And I just gave them to everyone. We were all
Well,
in like LM
yeah,
and
yeah,
Q.
you need to hit me up next year because I want to gather like a group of like
Yeah.
5 or 6 people would be a good size group. I don't want a big group because it's, I'm just one person to walk people around, but like to have a group of 6 veterans to be able to have like a golf cart
Yep.
and to take them around and introduce them to all the people in the pits, and then to let whoever wants to go volunteer in the pits to work on the cars. Like, dude, like I'm sorry, but that's just, if it wasn't for me being disabled, that would be a dream come true to be able to go crank on a F1 car.
Well, the guy who I want to introduce you to, he did the drone footage last year and the year before. His name's Jonathan Bowman of Bowman Creative.
Okay.
And I will hook you up with him, and he will make it happen. This guy, and he does cars too. He does those luxury cars in Nashville. You can rent a luxury car like
You
a
do a Lamborghini.
What's
a
his,
Lamborghini, a
what's
Bugatti.
his name?
His name's
Jonathan
Jonathan
Bowman.
Bowman.
I think I just actually met him at Cars and Coffee.
Yeah.
You
No,
probably
I
did.
was no, like we know him. I've worked with him. He did our VFW Southern Conference golf tournament. He's a great guy. He'll take you out to Top Golf anytime you want. Great guy.
So one of the things that I started to pitch to him was I wanted to take the cars out to do content,
Good.
to advertise being able to rent the cars and to have like a professional film team come out and film me like driving it and being like, oh, I think we're gonna, just like dangle the keys or something, be like, I think we'll try the Lamborghini this time.
Do you have his number? Do you have his contact? You have all that stuff?
I think, well, go ahead and send it to me.
I will. I'll send it to you.
Should have his, I think he told me just to go on. I don't know if he gave me his card or what.
Bowman Creative. Don't worry. You know what? I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. I'll send it to you.
Yes,
I got 2 or 3 names to send you after we're done this podcast. So don't worry about it. I got you. I got your 6, Tia. I got your 6.
Heck yeah. I'm actually planning on putting that on my knuckles over here
Good.
with the IGY6.
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm gonna send you Irreverent Warriors, the Silkies hike, because you are gonna do a Silkies hike with me
Don't do it.
sometime in the near
Are you
future.
pushing me in a wheelchair?
Hey, we've had Vietnam vets that were scout snipers that can barely move. We've had wheelchair people. I did the Nashville hike in 2019. I was a coordinator. We had 250 veterans marching around Nashville, and it was just amazing. Like you were talking about that camaraderie. Irreverent Warriors, we bring veterans together using humor and camaraderie. They wear their silkies, they wear their ranger panties, and they carry their flags, and it's
I
awesome.
love it. Is it on a paved course?
No, it's on side. We did it on sidewalks, but it's up to whoever's coordinating to do a route. And then you have to have safety vehicles. You have to have corpsmen, medics, whatever, just in case. But like you do like 6-7 miles, 2 miles an hour. It's awesome. I will send you. I'll send you all that stuff too.
Totally get one of those Lamborghinis and just kind of, put some flags up and
Yeah.
We had a 7-ton rolling behind us at one of our hikes. It was fucking awesome.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, I'll send you all this stuff.
Yeah.
I know the Grunt Style Foundation and Irreverent Warriors are now working together. So it's like it's a huge combination of people, and they have hikes all over the country, all over the world. They have 125 plus cities. Once you get on this website, I want you to look it up. And I know the coordinator for Nashville because I gave him the damn job, um, and he's still doing it. And his name's Zach Jenkins. He's an awesome man, and I'm going to introduce you to him. He's fantastic. He's a good Marine, um,
One
and
of the
he loves veterans.
one of the things that I want to do with the drift car and any other cars that I build for my organization is to advertise for all of these veterans organizations
Yep.
with the car.
And
You know,
Minutes Wisely, maybe, and we could slap a Minutes Wisely sticker on there, right?
Hell
Yep.
yeah. Let's do
Or
it.
a ton tavern sticker on there because I do a lot of stuff with the Ton Tavern.
imagine the advertising,
Imagine
like the
imagine
cars
all the possibilities.
around and being like, let's help some veterans and just
That's
not
right.
smoke. Yeah.
Flake, you got to ask a question. Do you have it in front of you?
I do have it in front of me.
Tia, get ready for the question. This is a question. The question.
We always wrap up the interview with a question. Actually, the first question is actually two questions. The first question is going to give me the question to ask you. Pick a number through 1 through 10 and do me a favor. Do not pick.
Don't pick 7. Don't pick 7.
Oh, 9.
9.
Oh, 9. Okay. That's
Everybody
a good
pick
one.
7. Were you going to pick 9 anyways?
Yes.
Okay.
That was my number that was my hockey number, by the way.
Literally everybody has picked number 7 since we've been doing this. It's so frustrating.
And a number that I would pick. Weird.
Strange. All right,
Okay.
here we go.
Here's your question.
Can you share a story of personal triumph or an accomplishment during your time in the military that you're particularly proud of?
I mean, I'm really proud that I did it. But I would say I want to say it was the first week that I was in Korea. We went out into the field, and you got to think, I was brand new to the military. I didn't really know a whole lot. And they put me in charge of our entire group that went out to do this training session. So I was the leader of 4 people on this fake war mission. So we all had those laser tag, I guess, kind of things where your gun had a laser pointer, and then you had all these things on your body that would go off if you got shot. And it was kind of like capture the flag. So we had to kind of talk about what we were going to do in how were we going to go out, who was going to go where, and how we were going to defend and how we were going to conquer. And they put me in charge. I was the lowest ranking. I was it was my first week in Korea, my 3rd month in the military, and we killed it. I'm just a natural born leader, I guess, maybe because I've had to be so self-sufficient. I don't like being told what to do, so I'm better at leading than following. And we killed it, and they were really surprised. I think they did it thinking that I was going to fail and they were going to give me this teaching moment, and they were all just jumping up and down and cheering for me when we captured the other person that was supposed to be coming after us. So that was pretty proud of that.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Where are you at right now? Where the Batman building's behind you?
Oh, so this is actually that was one of my sponsors is Graphic Effects in Murfreesboro.
Yeah.
Put all the decals on my race car for me. He made this. This is actually it's a window film.
Oh yeah.
So in the daytime, the light actually kind of comes behind there, which looks really cool. But this is my podcast studio that I've been building in my basement. So if you don't mind, I can actually hold on. Let's see if I can do this. So I put, if you look, there's let's see, where it looks like brick.
Yeah.
Brick. So that's actually like a photo backdrop. But
yeah,
from like 5 feet away. It actually looks real. So there's we've got these chairs that I'm sitting in. I've got microphones. There's a couch, little. So it's a. But this is in my basement. This is my. This is
You have
my.
a basement? That's pretty rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are in. There's only I think 10 houses in this neighborhood that are on the edge of the road, and they blew up. They blew because it's all rocks, and a lot of rocks in Tennessee, so they blew it up down here. So it's a walkout basement. So yeah, the 10 houses. And one of the requirements I'm from Minnesota, so one of the requirements I had was having a basement, because I grew up with a basement, and that's how you don't die when the tornadoes come through.
Exactly.
So trying to find a house with a basement was not easy, but when I found out that these had basements, I was like, okay, that's it. I don't care how much it costs. That's where we're going.
I haven't had a basement since Exeter, New Hampshire. Damn.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Lucky.
So, yeah, I thought it would look really cool to have the Nashville skyline.
No, I love the Batman building, man. I love it.
So I looked up a sunset Nashville skyline, and I found that picture, and I had him print it out, and I actually installed it myself, which
great.
It's like
Looks good.
Kind of like window tint.
Yeah, we have one on ours. It's orchids, and it's like a stained glass window, but it's fake. But it looks I love it. It's great.
So yeah, I thought that would be better than looking at my neighbors.
Yeah.
Because at
Good
first
point.
I was like, well, maybe I'll just do it black, just so that you don't see what's outside. But then I was like, but if I make it look like the skyline, it'll look like I'm in like a downtown apartment, which
Yeah.
No, I swear to God, I thought you were in like an office building.
Yeah, see?
In downtown Nashville. I was like, holy shit, damn.
Yeah,
she's just getting back from work right now.
Well,
Tia, thank you so much for coming. It's I'm going to be sending you an email probably in the next 10 to 15 minutes with a lot of contacts.
Sweet. I appreciate that.
Yes. Well, thanks for jumping on with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. We'll have to get together. I didn't, if I would have known y'all were local.
Yeah.
I'm
in Lebanon every single day. I work right at the 40 and I don't even know what the hell the road is. Right across where where the interstate is, and on one side the big dog food company is.
Yeah, it smells like
yeah. I'm the building on the opposite side of the interstate.
Okay.
And I'm a retired veteran advocate in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And if you want to go to lunch, I would be happy to take you to lunch or coffee or whatever.
Awesome. Heck yeah, dude.
Oh, and coffee with a veteran every Sunday.
Don't go there.
What?
Don't go there.
There's some good people there.
Why you say that?
Oh, long story. I can't say it on the air because I got.
We can't say it on the air, or they jumped down our throat about libel and slander and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, they got mad at us.
But it's great. If you want to go for a cup of coffee and then eat and then leave right away.
Go find a new group.
Oflo Bakery, next to.
I've actually thought for a long time about starting my own. I don't know if it necessarily has to be all veterans, but just a group of people that likes to get together. I actually have a car group. We try to go out to eat at least once a month. And we just drive our cars. We try to go at least 30 minutes to an hour to take like a cruise, and we go sit down and have food together, and we crack up and we talk shit, and it's great. But to build on that, to have like 20 people or so, if not more.
Tia, do you know Layla, who works at Humidor?
I don't think so.
He's a big car guy, kind of Asian guy. He was doing the cars around the square in Murfreesboro. He's a great guy.
No.
Jerry Alvarado, what about him? Have you ever heard that name?
Man, I
He's
mean,
a Marine Corps League. He's a truck guy.
To pull up a picture of somebody better.
Okay.
I have I max out at 5,000 people on Facebook.
Yeah, me too.
So
I keep on meeting new people every day.
Yeah, I suck at names.
Like you're a new person. I've never met you before, and we met today. You are 5001 today.
Nice.
And I followed you on
somebody.
I followed you on Facebook and on Instagram while we were talking. So
Heck yeah, dude.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
But Fleek, nice job.
All right.
Tia, thank you so much.
Hey, stick around for a second, guys. I'm just going to hit end record. I want to make sure it all downloads. So peace out, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next week.